Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this third-party figure showcase and review, we're going to be looking at the Ironfactory. This is Hybrid Formula IFEX37H, which is a third-party company's take at a Transformers Leadfoot figure. So, what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick look at him in both his modes, help you decide how you want to display him. We're going to have a look at the accessories and the contents of the package that comes with him. We're going to do some comparisons with the original G2 figure itself, and indeed some of the other figures that have been released in the main generation's toy line, as well as of course having a look at him compared to some other third-party company figures as well. So as I start to pop all these away, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, and also to thank Shozy, because that's where this figure came from, and as you can see they got him to me nice, quickly and safely. So for those of you who are unaware, Ironfactory is a third-party company that, as you can see, makes transforming figures, and because the figures transform, Hasbro and Takara do not license them to do that, so that is why they're not called by their proper names, and that's why they're referred to as third party. However, it's clearly obvious that this is of course a Leadfoot figure. It comes packaged in there in an air bubble, not an air bubble, in a clamshell in robot mode. He comes with a collector's card that's all neatly wrapped up. That's quite cool actually. It looks like it's a limited edition number on this particular lot of figures, and indeed the instructions here, but you've probably noticed that I've already uploaded a separate tutorial already to help you with it. It is a fiddly figure because of its size and due to the amount of transformation I suppose steps on it, but hopefully it does help you out. Also, it's a direct repaint of, I think they called him Sheen, but I prefer this particular colour scheme, to be honest, which of course means that it's used and has been used for the Mirage mould. Right, let's have a look at it then. So all the wheels, I'm very pleased to say, they are rubber tyres, which is great, and they do of course all move well on their own individual pins. There's no problem with that rolling backwards and forwards whatsoever, to be honest. The packaging artwork, let's quickly have a look. It's no artwork at all. It's actually all product shots, which again looks great because you know exactly what you're getting. This is like a reflective, I suppose, gunmetal grey. I think you can bring it back ever so slightly for this particular mode, but the problem with Ironfactory figures is all of the things in a good way are all held together with ball and sockets. However, in a negative way, they're also held together with ball and sockets, which means that they tend to bounce off. Now the weapon that he comes with, this is the normal way that he would hold it for robot mode, but for alternate mode you push that bit forward there and you can attach this to the roof like so. The translucent red plastic is fantastic. The number 93 again is exactly that. Look, it's an exact copy of the G2 original figure, which you can see there. So they've got exactly the same number, and that's the original G2. This is a deluxe, or quite a small deluxe figure, so this is quite a bit smaller than that, which you can tell. Funnily enough, if I bring in another yellow vehicle, there you go. That gives you an idea of just why these are called legend scale smaller figures. To be honest, it's a pretty good alternate mode. There's nothing wrong with it. It does look very, very good, but I won't be displaying him in this mode. I'm going to be displaying him into his robot, so I think we need to get him into his robot mode and come straight back. Okay, we're back, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, this is definitely the best mode for him. I think he looks great, and I'm going to show you again why these figures now are dubbed as mini masterpieces, because although they're tiny, the articulation on them is fantastic. So the head, even though it's a little tricky to get to, it is on like a mushroom peg, so it will go all the way around, no issues whatsoever. The detail on the head is fantastic actually. You can see the red visor and the silver coming around the mouth as well, which is brilliant. The articulation in the shoulders is quite good, considering it is a little restricted by these wheels, but you can, if you want to, you can cheat a little. You can drop the shoulder a little and then make it look like he's got much more articulation. And of course these are separate, so you can move them out of the way. There's also so you can see it's on a ball and socket, so it will swivel around. It won't go, you have to move it slightly out of the way so it doesn't catch there. You've near enough got the full T, but you've also got a swivel on the bicep as well as the flexion, but you don't have a wrist swivel. Please don't try to do that because you will just snap it. Now I know that some people don't necessarily like the gaps in the forearms. That is of course for the transformation, but as with all figures, Hasbro included and Takara, if I can't see it at the front, I'm not too fussed. So that's the get out of jail that I do give the figures. Then the chest details obviously brilliant because it's the front of the vehicle. There is a full waist swivel, which is fantastic. That will go all the way around. As I said, the wheels are rubber as well, which is brilliant. The legs, now there's loads of articulation in the legs. They will kick near enough to the full splits like so, but they will do the full splits and more to the sides. Now they're on ball and socket, so there's loads of articulation there. There's also a swivel, as you can see there, just below the hip. Huge knee bend as well. Then you've got your ankle tilt, rock, etc. on that ball and socket. And then from the back, they've done a clever thing of folding the wheels into the back, which, to be honest, I think I forgot that on the transformation process, but they do tuck from the side in like that, which is great. It's a great looking figure, but again, if you're wondering how big it is, in fact, let's take the gun first and foremost. If you remember, it was this way around because it was attached to the roof. So what you need to do is fold it that way, pop this into his hand. And again, people compose things way better than me, like so. And of course, if you want to, you can just store it in the back via that port as well. I think he looks good, to be honest. Here he is compared with his G2 original figure. Huge upgrade, and to be honest, not much different from the Generations Deluxe size figure. I think they've probably got about the same amount of articulation. The obviously only difference is this guy's got all these coming off the back, whereas he hasn't really at all. But again, you can see how small this figure is. So if I bring him out of the way, if I bring in a core class figure, it's just slightly bigger than a core class. It's quite a bit smaller than a deluxe. That's a small deluxe. Obviously the Leadfoot was small, and that's a very small deluxe, and he's still, you know, Bumblebee's still not towering, but he's definitely a lot taller than your Leadfoot figure. Right, this is a New Age figure. Where's he gone? Which is another third-party company, and they pretty much scale not too bad, to be fair, but this is another Ironfactory figure, and they scales perfectly with him, which you can see no issues there whatsoever. G1 figure, massive compared to him. Excuse the glare. Just trying to think of a few other figures here just to give you an idea, depending on the third-party company that you do in fact collect. I haven't got them all here. There's so many of them now. I'm just bringing out a few figures to give you an idea of scale and indeed of size. As I say, tiny figure. Again, funnily enough, there's your drag strip, way bigger. To be honest, there's not much more to say about him. I do think he looks good. Much prefer him in this particular mode, and I think that's, as I say, all I've got to say anymore. I want you guys to let me know what you think of him in the comments. There's also a direct link if you want to purchase one of these yourself. As always, guys, thanks very much for watching. Take care.